Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Queen of the Crock. My name is Cheri, and today I really wanted to make for you a scrumptious lobster bisque. However, payday's not till next Friday, so we are going to have to substitute out our lobster for crab. Not tuna. We're not going to put tuna in there. We're going to put crab in there. Anyway, it's still scrumptious. It's delicious. And you can whip this up in under 30 minutes and everybody's going to think that you spent all day slaving over the stove. So we're going to get started. I got my burner cranked up on high already. So I'm going to move my pan over and we're going to drop in about half a stick of butter. So about a quarter cup. All right. And then to this, we are going to add, I'm looking for my knife. I just had it in my hand. We're going to add about a half a cup of chopped celery, and I'm going to chop this up pretty fine. So about 2 stalks. I do like these pretty fine though. We're going to add some corn to this a little bit later too, so there is going to be a little bit of crunch in here. But we're going to chop these pretty fine, and then we're going to cook them down. So these won't have much of a crunch to them at all. I remember the first time we had lobster, the first time we had it, though, we had it at Sam's Club, I think. We were walking through, through the store when they hand out all the samples. I think we ate our entire lunch there that day. And I think we probably circled twice back around to get more. I think it was lobster bisque at the time. I don't think it was crab bisque, but was it lobster? Anyway, it was the first time we had ever tried it. It was absolutely phenomenal. The second time we had it, there used to be a little restaurant here in our town that was called Andrew's French Quarter, and they had some of the best food. My daughter actually worked there for a while. That's a big hunk of celery. And I'm going to turn this down just a little bit, or we're going to have some brown butter here, and we don't want that. I'm going to move it over here just for a second while that burner cools off a little bit. I do have a big chunk in there. I'm going to toss that aside. All right. So, and it takes a little bit longer for our celery to cook down than it does our onion. So that's why I put the celery in there first. Now we only need a little bit of the onion. Probably a couple of tablespoons. I might put a little bit more in there though. And get this out of the way. And I'm going to try to do this the proper way, or semi-proper way. All right. Let's see here. Look at me and my knife skills. This is terrible. I'm embarrassed. I know. Trying to get these like super fine. That looks good though. Yeah, we only need a couple of tablespoons. I know I got a little more than a couple of tablespoons there. All right, toss that aside. We'll put this back on the heat. We've got it all melted down. And our celery is starting to soften up just a little bit. So I'm going to toss in my onion to go along with that. And we're going to let that cook down just a little bit. So I think another thing I want to do today is, I didn't want to ruin my soup by putting crackers in it, but I did want like a little bit of crunchy texture on top. So I thought about making some homemade croutons. And then I remembered, if you watched the other day, we had our tuna melts we made. I have some of this bread, so I think I'm just going to make a piece of toast to put in here, kind of like you do when you make a French onion soup. Give that a quick stir again. So we're just going to get a little piece of bread out for that, one of the smaller pieces. Let's do this one right here. Look who's awake. No school today for our kids, Thursday and Friday. Draven's got a 4-day weekend. It's still kind of quiet in here, though. I need a butter knife. Yeah. Oops. Yep, doggy's getting a haircut this morning. So I'm just going to take a little bit of butter and butter both sides of this real quick. Those are cooking down nicely. And get the other side here. I like a lot of butter. Can you guys tell? All right, so I've got my bread butter. We're going to toss this in here. And I turn this up a little bit. And where did my towel go? I feel like I'm losing everything today. There's my towel. I got everything on the other table. All right. So our onions and our celery have cooked down just a little bit. And is that you on there making comments? What'd you say? I can't read it from here. Yummy for your tummy. It is going to be yummy for your tummy. All right, so I've got my onions and my celery cooked down a little bit. I'm going to add to this about, I think there's about a 1/4 cup of flour in there. And give this a stir so that the butter absorbs all the flour. So now we've kind of got like a little bit of a roux. Did you know when you chop your vegetables that you're going to put in like your soup or your spaghetti sauce, you've got like your onions and celery and carrots. It's called I think it's called a mirepoix. So anyways, so to this I'm going to add 2.5 cups of milk, and I'm going to do this really slowly. I want to break up those little lumps of flour. We don't want any lumps in our soup. So once we get everything in here, we're going to let this come to a boil, and then we're going to turn the heat down and let it simmer for about 20 minutes so it cooks out that raw flavor of the flour. All right, so we've got our milk stirred in. Got all this flour mixed into our milk. And then I want to add a cup of heavy whipping cream. So this is what's going to make it really smooth and creamy and delicious. And so if you wanted to make this keto friendly, you really could. You could swap out all of the milk for heavy cream. It would be extremely rich. And I'm going to put in some corn at the end. You could leave the corn out. And of course you could take the flour and substitute it for almond flour. Would probably work pretty well in this. All right, so we've got our milk and our cream stirred in. The next thing I want to do is add in some cracked pepper. No, we can't make anything without cracked pepper or sugar, right? Is that you making comments, or is it Dawn? Good morning, Dawn. I think I can see your name from here. We're going to put in some salt also. So salt and pepper, it goes into everything, right? What else goes into everything? About a tablespoon of sugar, or a little more. Might be a little more sugar in there than a tablespoon. All right, so we've got our salt, pepper, sugar, and then we've got a few more seasonings we want to add. I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoonsful of beef bouillon. So if all you have is like the cubes on hand, you can melt those down or dissolve those in a little bit of water and put this in here instead. Stir that up. I'm going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of basil. I'm going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then about a 1/2 teaspoonful of Creole seasoning. So I made my own. It's really simple to do. You probably already have the seasonings on hand to make it. You can also buy it at the store, but I'll post in the comments the recipe that I use to make my own Creole seasoning. All right, so we've got all of our seasonings in there. The next thing we're going to add is our crab. So again, this is a really good way to feel like you're eating something really expensive, really fancy, and it's really not, doesn't cost that much. The cans of crab, I think I got on sale for like $2.50 today. So we went over to the new Schnucks this morning, and they are super friendly, as Schnucks stores usually are. But we got a free box of pasta this morning, and we got a free bag. I'll have to show you. And Mark and I both made a purchase, of course, because something was on sale. It was a limited 2, so we got 2 bags. All right, so I got our handy dandy little can opener here. If you haven't seen this, this is a lot safer and a lot cleaner than most of your can openers. This completely unseals the can, so there's no sharp edges whatsoever. And you've probably seen our can opener. So this fits just about any size canned good. If you have a little bit bigger can, like your fruit cans or your tuna, or like here we have our crab, you turn it this way and put it inside the can. Flip it upside down to drain. So we've got that. Now be careful, because there is like a little piece, I don't know if it's parchment paper or what they put in the bottom of here, and you don't want to drop that down into your bisque. So we're going to set that aside. Give this a stir here. Let's check on our toast. It's getting a little brown. All right, so we're going to drain our other can of crab. This is going to be so yummy. Now, Mark will eat this. He loves crab. We like some crab legs, don't we? Get in your tummy. Oh, I still need that. I'm going to stir this up again. And then the last thing I'm going to add to the actual pot of soup is going to be a can of corn. So we're going to use our can opener again. And if you're lucky enough to already own one of these can openers, you probably swear by it. Everybody loves these. All right, so same thing here, except we're going to put the can drainer this way this time. Drain out our corn. And if you have frozen corn or fresh corn, we've got a really cool tool that takes corn straight off the cob. So we're going to pour this. I almost poured this right in my, almost poured it on my bread. Oh my. That would not have been good, would it? All right. Put this out of the way. My knife. Give this a good stir again. Oh, I probably wanted my knife. All right. This is starting to smell good. All right, so I turned my heat back up. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and I'm going to cover it. Once it comes to a boil, we'll turn it back down, and then we'll let it simmer for about 20 minutes. So we've got our breads almost crispy here. So, of course, I already have one pot done, so you guys could see what it looks like when it's done. I wish I had some little clear bowls, but we'll just go ahead and use these. So I've had it sitting over here kind of simmering away in our rock crock that's keeping everything warm. My favorite all-time product. Who's ready to try some soup?
I'll do it.
You'll do it?
I'll do it.
All right. So I got a bowl here for you. And a bowl here for me. I love these. Bobby Flay, if you're watching, I'm using your dishes. Oh, I found that little wood trivet I was looking for that was Bobby Flay's. I found it. I was so happy. It was down here in this thing. In this drawer. Are you even listening to me? What are you doing over there? He's ignoring me. All right. So another thing I want to add to this. Let's check our bread here. It's almost toasty. Turn that up just a little bit. Here. Let me put my little, see if this one will fit in there. Is this too big for this pan? Oh, it's too big. Look, it doesn't fit. I was trying to push my bread down and get it going faster. You know? Aren't you hungry? We're always hungry around here. All right, our bread's almost done. So one other thing I want to add to this is, I was looking for my cheese. Some freshly grated cheddar. And so I showed you guys this the other day. You can use it tabletop, or you can do it right over the top of your bowl, which we're going to do. And I have an extra sharp white cheddar that I'm using. I know, I see that little piece of cheese there. I want to eat it. We eat a lot of cheese around here.
A lot of it did not make the container.
What? We'll just put that in there. How's that? How's that? Is our bread crispy? It is crispy. All right, I'm just going to use this and cut it in half. I'll give you half the bread and me half the bread. How's that? Sound good? So we're just going to tuck our piece of bread right in here. One other thing, we are going to put just a couple of sprigs of some flat leaf parsley just to make it pretty. Oh, I got it upside down. There we go. Isn't this pretty? Are you going? It is pretty, isn't it? Are you going to come taste this? All right, come on. Ooh, my bread's sinking down. Hey, Gina. I don't think she's on anymore, but huh? Yeah. I gotta find a better way to show these people what this looks like. You gonna tell them how it tastes? I'm watching you in the camera. It's creamy.
Oh my god, baby.
And super creamy. I'm gonna put some on my bread and eat it.
Mine's in my soup already.
Oh
my god. Yeah, I'm gonna go hide in the
It's really creamy, but you really get that rich flavor from the crab. Isn't that good? I know, like the crunch of the corn in there. Anyway, that is delicious. So Somebody will be back at work tomorrow, which is a good thing because I can't get him to eat a fish sandwich. And tomorrow we are going to make some beer battered fish sandwiches. I love, one of my favorites. I love a fish. I eat fish everywhere we go because I don't get him to eat fish. He eats fish sticks, Gordon's fish sticks. That's what he eats out of the box.
Good stuff.
Is it as good as this?
This is good.
I know. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.